In this video tutorial, I want to discuss with you how we can do a linear regression in Excel, which includes some statistical data. So let's go to some data sets that we have here, whatever these data sets might be. So here we've got our X values. These are also called the predictor variables or the independent variables because we can choose them whichever we want to do. So here we've got 5 observations, and here is our independent. So that's the independent. We've got the dependent variable. The values of y depend on x. They are also called the response or outcome variables, and they are somehow linked to the independent variable. So it's always a good idea to have a look at what these data look like. Are they linear? Because only with linear data we can do a linear regression. So we highlight the cells, we go to Insert, and we click on the scatter plot here, and we just simply do a scatter plot, and here the data look reasonably okay. So here are our y values and here are the x values, and it looks pretty much like a straight line. And of course we can now use this to get some information about this line here that we could put in, a line of best fit. So right click on one of the dots here, so all the dots are selected, and we go to the Add Trend Line menu. So we get a line of best fit that Excel has calculated for us, and we want to look at the equation for this line of best fit and also the R² value. So here we've got the information. So if we just simply move that a little bit, that we can see it better. So this means our gradient for this line of best fit is 1.93, and the y-intercept, if we elongate that backwards, we would get 0.25, and the R² value, the Pearson's R² value, gives us a value of 99.19, or 99.19% of the outcome of the response variables are predicted by the independent variables here. So that's a pretty good fit. And we see that the line goes up, so that would be a very strong positive correlation. Okay, now of course we want to know what are the error margins and the confidence intervals for these two parameters, for the gradient and for the intercept. And we also want to know, is this indeed a positive correlation that we see, or is it just simply by chance? Is it just simply by luck that we got this correlation? And for that, we need to do a little bit of statistics. We need to formulate some hypotheses. So usually we are not too bothered about the intercept here, but we want to know whether this gradient that we see here of the line of best fit, of the trend line, is this gradient that we see any different from a gradient where there is no prediction, where the gradient basically would be flat, where there is no gradient, where the gradient would be 0. And we can formulate that in terms of some null hypotheses. So here the null hypothesis is there is no difference between the gradient of the regression line and 0. So basically the gradient is 0. That then means that the independent variables cannot be used as predictors for the response variables. The alternative hypothesis would be there is indeed a significant difference between the gradient of the regression line and 0, so the gradient is not equal to 0. And this would mean that the independent variables allow for a prediction of the response variables. And that is usually what we want. And what we usually then set is an significance level alpha. Let's say this is 5%. And our decision rule would be if the p-value for the gradient is smaller than alpha, if it's smaller than 5%, we would reject the null hypothesis and say the alternative hypothesis is correct. Or if the p-value is larger than alpha, then we would fail to reject the null hypothesis and say, well, it's not working. The gradient is indeed not significantly different from 0. Okay, so how can we find a p-value? We know it's a strong we see a strong correlation, but is it true? So what we can do is we do some statistics, and luckily Excel has a Toolpak installed, or you can install that. So we go to Data, and on the Data tab we go to Data Analysis over here. So that will open a new window, and we go for regression, so linear regression. We click OK. And it will ask us to input certain ranges. So the first one that we need to do is to input the Y range. And I take all the data, highlight them, and that includes the label here. The X value, the input range, I do exactly the same thing here. So I've got my Y and X, and it's important that you do that in this order. We have labels, and we also want confidence intervals, so that's all good. And let's put the output range on the same sheet. Let's start with the output over here. And so that looks good, and all we need to do is click OK. And we get a lot of information about our regression here, and we can compare the information that we get with the our trend line information, so with the gradient and the R-squared value. So we have the summary output, and since we only have 2 parameters here and we have only one independent variable, we don't have to worry about the multiple r. We have the R-squared value of 0.9919, and we see that this tallies with the R-squared value here. We get the ANOVA information about the whole thing, and most importantly what we see here is p-value, and this is the p-value for the gradient. And we see that the p-value is 0.0003, and this p-value, that is, as I said, the p-value for the gradient. And we see that this is certainly smaller than significance level alpha of 5%, of 0.05, which therefore means that we can reject our null hypothesis. P is smaller than alpha, so if P is low, H0 must go. So if we go back to our our null hypothesis, we find that the p-value is much smaller than alpha, so we can reject the null hypothesis and believe in our alternative hypothesis, so that the independent variables, the predictor variables, are allowing for the prediction of the response variables. We get more information about the coefficients. So we get our gradient here, 1.93, and that again tallies with the output of the trend line here, but we also get the 95% confidence interval for the gradient, and that is given here. So we've got a lower and an upper bound for the gradient. The lower bound is 1.6, the upper bound is 2.2, 1.3 is pretty much in there. And we again have the p-value for the gradient, so we know that the gradient is statistically significant. It looks different for the intercept, and we see that here in our graph. So if we go backwards, it is probably pretty close to 0. In fact, we know that the intercept is 0.25. And the question is that statistically significant? We get a p-value for the intercept of 0.5, and if we assume a significance level of 5%, this would not be significant. We also get the lower and the upper bound, and we see that the value of 0 is included in this, so the intercept is not significantly different from 0. And that is a lot of information that we get from this Toolpak. So we can say we have a statistically significant strong correlation here with an R squared value of 0.99, and the p-value for this correlation would be this p-value here, 0.0003. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this shows you how we can actually analyze linear regression data with this really cool data analysis Toolpak in Excel. Thank you very much for watching.